Yo, been a hot dude a while. Chapter 325, Run to Girlfriend. Hi, I'm Faye, talking about Run to Girlfriend stuff, and without further ado, Les Mose. So, last chapter, the sneak preview for it was magnificent. Now, a lot of Japanese fans had like predictions that it sounded like this one dude from I was gonna mention this guy, but there's no way, right? So let's see what that's all about. That's a fox. That's a fox, right? Yes. Is this a reference to something? Fuck. Cheers. Ooh, Chizuru-san wants to eat Chinese hot pot? And you're checking it out first? Yeah, I figured I shouldn't go in blind. Sorry for dragging you here. I'll pay. Nah, it's cool. I was free anyway. Woohoo, that's the stuff. Oh God, what am I looking at? Oh God. The Date and the Boyfriend Part 5, Inter-Girlfriend Logic Puzzle. Fill-in can, okay, is the bottom one this, okay, I might not solve this video. I'm just saying this is long, what the fuck. Fill in consecutive squares according to the number in each vertical and horizontal column. In columns containing multiple numbers, consecutive fill-in and it's gonna make a picture. Hold on, I'm gonna go to Reddit. They always solve these. I'm gonna go to Reddit really fast. I'm not gonna look at any spoilers. Okay, I checked, it's not there yet. They didn't solve it yet. Okay, this was an absolute nightmare to try and solve. I figured out the rules, I tried to understand it, but Jesus fuck, this was so complicated. I actually spent hours trying to understand this. So I just went to Reddit and someone used like a solver and eventually finally got it. Here it is. It's Minnie. Shocking. It was Chizuru before, now it's Minnie. Minnie is like a huge driving factor in this chapter. It only makes sense that it's her. And yes, it looks very adorable. Kawaii. Oh, answer to the previous chapter. Tip of Sumi's water gun. Wrinkle on Mizuhara's neck. Wrinkle? It wasn't a wrinkle, it was just a neckline. Okay. Mommy's hair. Color of Mizuhara's hair tie. 5. Color of Ruka's mouth. 6. Shell at the top right of Ruka. 7. Hermit crab shell. 8. Mizuhara's V-line. And by the way, there was 8. This is an editorial issue, and they didn't even fucking correct it. That's funny. Okay, so Kazu's looking at the menu. I can't read what any of these are. It was the pronunciation though. Oh, because it's all Chinese. Is this Chinese? It does have explanations, so I can understand it on the side. Vegetable combos, base. They have a triple pot 2, arrow box, mouth half open. Yeah, sometimes that happens to me. I would have panicked if I'd come here first with Mizuhara. Close call. Duh. Everything's in Chinese, even when ordering on the phone. Are all Chinese hot pots like this? Which one should I order for the hot pot? Let me see. Well, I think it's fine to leave it up to Chizuru-san by asking what she likes. If she doesn't want anything in particular, the mala and bating double pot is pretty good. It's like a pot with a red and white side to dip in. The restaurants look really authentic, but other places should have it on the menu too. A lot of Chinese customers come here. You can't go wrong if you just order the most popular combo on the menu. It's a safe choice. But really? Fawa Yun, 1 Katsune combo, huh? And we just learned something new about Minnie again, that she speaks a little bit of Chinese. We might go to a different restaurant on the date. Mala and Bating. Man, I should take her advice. He wrote a note, I see. It's still 20XX. Yeah, Reishi gave up on the date because it was like 2018, and at one point he made it 2022 because that was when he was writing the chapters, and then later he just said fuck it, I don't care, dude. Like it's kind of getting a little silly trying to like keep up with the continuity of the story but also keep up with the continuity of like real life. So he's just like, nah, fuck it, just 20XX. Lastly, there's the dipping sauce. Can't have a Chinese hot pot without that. Dipping sauce. Pretty much all of these restaurants have tons of sauces and condiments to choose from. You can mix them however you like. They have to prepare the hot pot, so you might as well make some sauce while you wait. Huh, this is kind of like Korean barbecue, right? Has anyone been to Korean barbecue? They kind of have like extra sauces and stuff you can get. Yeah, there's a ton. This is the best part of Chinese hot pot. It's fun, but be careful not to take too much. I wonder what Mizuhara would pick. Imagine choosing a Sasuke with Mizuhara. So close to each other. I think I'll add the sesame seeds and cilantro. Sounds great. Wait a second. What if she asked me something I know nothing about? What's the tofu sauce? No idea. Maybe you should give it a try. Lame as hell. Oh, that's not lame, but that's his cognitive perception, so yeah. Also, I love how Reiji keeps drawing the fucking braid like scribbled out. It's so funny. It's like you can tell he drew it first, then scribbled it out. Oh my god. That'd suck. I'm so glad I came here first. I'll look this stuff up later. Did you forget your courage back at Royal Hills? Yeah, kinda. I mean, bro, he got them trauma though. Yes. Couldn't be any more in your face with the yin yang. Here's your mala and bating. Red and white. This completes your double pot combo. Wow, time to dig in. This looks great. Yeah, it looks good. I see why girls seem to like this now. So anyway, what's got you all worried? Well, it's just the date, you know? I know we're having a Chinese hot pot, but I have no idea where to begin with all the other stuff. This is spicy. Is it supposed to be this spicy? Well, it is a hot pot. It has hot in the name for a reason. This place is definitely the real deal. It was like this in Shinbashi as well. Shinbashi? I think I said it right. P.S. Shinbashi is actually not the same place they went to in chapter 277 to 281. The place they went to there was Yamada Denki Ikebukura. And let me pull up the map really quick. As you can see, this is Ikebukura right here. This is Shinbashi right down here. You literally have to cut through the entirety of Shinjuku to get there. So Minnie is talking about something completely different. This place is definitely the real deal, but all these restaurants are like this. Seriously? We're needing this to affect the rest of our date? Are we supposed to eat this on our first date? That's a bit of a problem. Now that I think about it, Mizuhara ordered mopu tofu when we had Chinese food. Did she like spicy food? Yeah, so I mentioned this 2 videos ago. Reiji actually hinted to us all the way back then that Chizuru likes spicy food. And the reason for it is because mopu tofu, Chinese mopu tofu, is spicy as fuck. But this is super fitting because when you go to her rental website, on the rental website, she says that she likes miso soup and then dislikes is nothing in particular. This doesn't tell you a lot, but is actually meant to also show the ambiguity of how she's supposed to approach her job. In so doing, giving you an element of mystery to it because you don't really fully know much about her. She just seems really approachable because miso soup is inoffensive and she doesn't dislike anything. But if you tell someone I like Chinese hot pot or I like spicy food, that leaves a strong impression which can drive away some customers. See what she did there? So in just that single line, Reiji was coming back to that theme he was introducing in chapter 320, where he has Kazuya realize, oh, Chizuru has to maintain an element of balance in all of her life, including the rental job, where she has to maintain a balance between the customer, not too far away, not too close. And that was perfectly represented in the choice of things she puts on the website. That was in many ways calculated, even if there was a hint of truth to that, right? Either way, it's what she wants to eat. I can't change plans. I'll have the mopu tofu. I still have so many things to work out. Anyways, it's a problem for me. Mizuhara doesn't use any socials. She's a very mysterious girl, so I don't really know what kind of stuff she likes. Yeah, and she's been through all kinds of dates. You've got quite the battle ahead of you. You're telling me? Yeah, I know! I know the most important thing is to make sure Mizuhara has a good time. I've used up a lot of my ideas though. You can't do the same thing as the cheer update, or else she'll think of me as a one-trick pony. Straight up nod to the cheer update. Alright, man. Well, the safest play would be a theme park. I saw on TikTok that experiencing stuff together is key to a close relationship. A theme park, huh? It's supposed to rain on the date. What? It's really gonna rain? Oh my. That's just the prediction though. Then it's gotta be an indoor date. Pretty rough, right? How about playing Smash Bros at home? Are you even trying to help? Dude, I love how their relationship is purely platonic and they're just kind of chilling out. The one thing I'm curious if Kazuya is gonna bring up is he gonna talk about the capital S? Like, is he gonna do that? That feels like what he was building to. I've considered going to a theme park like a million times, but the rainy weather report makes it too risky to plan something like that. The date would be ruined if she got soaking wet. I'll catch a cold. Let's go home. Forget about dinner. We can't stay outside all day. She wouldn't enjoy any food after that. You definitely want to make time to talk with her. Huh? Oh, he's gonna do it like that. So one thing like Reiji has been doing in the arcs is that Kazuya and Chizuru are talking to other people, not each other. So Kazuya goes to Minnie to talk about this stuff instead of going to Chizuru to talk about it. And Chizuru goes to Grandma Sayuri to talk about this stuff. She doesn't go to Kazuya to talk about it. So it's them starting to become comfortable talking about very intimate topics with each other and not other people, because that's a fundamental part of romantic relationships. You incorporate elements from platonic relationships and elements from familial relationships that include being comfortable with each other and being comfortable being your real selves. Like, this is a part of relationships, and it's rarely very much discussed in such a way in anime and manga and other shows. They don't really delve into it like this. I can't remember many off the top of my head. Maybe it's my limited repertoire, but I've seen a lot of the popular anime, so I'm not really sure. The ball is in Chizuru-san's court for as long as she keeps up her research. With your moving date coming up, I think you would expect some kind of answer from her. Oh. I see now. I think she'll give you an answer even if you don't do anything, since she has a strong sense of responsibility. But she needs something to make her feel comfortable before she talks. Yumura-san's right. I've been so focused on making sure Mizuhara has a good time, but depending on how the date goes, she could take some sort of action of her own. I don't want to go home today. Action. And there it is, it comes back. Shit, I'm having these ridiculous fantasies again. Well, you seem pretty confident. Look at you smiling. I don't know, you think so? Let's see. I can't tell her. This is the one thing that I really can't tell her. These perverted thoughts. What kind of nice places have you visited before? Oh, okay. Smart. I see what he did here. So Kazuya actually still doesn't feel comfortable telling Minnie, which is brilliant because if he can open up to Minnie, he can open up to Chizuru. Cause Minnie's a girl and they have a platonic relationship. So it's important that Kazuya feels comfortable talking about this topic with girls, because you can talk to your bros about this shit to some degree, but talking to a girl about this topic is a whole other ballpark. Let's not forget, your 20s aren't so different from your teens. People like to pretend it is. It's not. In your 20s, you're figuring yourself out, but you still have the same problems, right? Now you've broken out into your own, but you still very much have the same problems. And my issue with media oftentimes is that they portray it like when you're in your 20s, you're all good to go. You figured it out. You know, you're an adult now. Not really. You're still a kid, and that persists throughout your 20s. Like, it's like when you hit your late 20s or so, that's kind of when you figure it out. Some people never overcome it, but your 20s up to your 30s is like when you're really figuring yourself out, when you're really like figuring out who you are despite what other people say, despite the other things around you. And I love that this series takes place over like the span of 3 or 2 years of the characters like really overcoming these anxieties, because it shows people in their 20s and in their 16s, hey, even when you get older, you're still gonna be a fuck up. Like, don't beat yourself up about it. Just learn. Just use that time to learn and grow. It happens. I'm just telling you from experience, you're gonna learn a lot in your 20s, and you're still a kid. You still don't know what the fuck you're doing, okay? So it's okay. You're not a bad person for it. And I love that Reiji portrays that. That's why anime can feel so goofy sometimes, because you see characters that like are just literally teenagers, kids in like their fucking 16s, and they're already like thinking like goddamn war tacticians. It's ridiculous, right? This grounded approach is much better in my opinion, and this is probably one of the reasons that like people don't like this series, because it very much contrasts like the things people have come to understand about anime, how anime portrays things in a very romanticized way. In contrast, Reiji as a writer isn't afraid to romanticize the things he hates and demonize the things he loves, because that's an important part of writing. If you're not afraid to do that, you can really write some good shit, but you get my point. What kind of nice place have you visited before? Huh? You've had her date you several times already, Master. Wasn't there anywhere that left a good impression? You've spent enough to be a whale. Gotcha terms. I don't know if anyone knows this. A whale is someone who drops a shit ton of money on something. When you call someone a whale in terms of a gotcha, they just spent a shit ton of money. Hey, don't say it like that. You really don't respect me, do you? Somewhere nice, huh? My preferred thoughts aside, Yomori-san's right. It's a good idea to make time for us to talk. She might talk to me about how she feels. I need the perfect place for that. You were just like a manga character. Yeah. Booty. Booty. I was right. I was fucking right. I said it. She had a goddamn towel on. I fucking said it. I said she would be walking out of the shower, and that's why she had a thing on her neck, because that's how Reiji draws towels. Let's fucking go. Calling you wow. Japanese readers were right. So Yude, this dude's name is spelled like magnificent, which by the way, like, damn bro, your parents fucking blessed you with that kind of fucking name, right? But yeah, oh shit. So the way Reiji wrote it like this dude's name. So people were like, oh, is this dude gonna come back? Fuck, they were right. Hello, yes, thanks. Yeah, Huh? Oysters. Yeah, I like them. Oh, a party? Wow, I'm surprised you got a reservation there. Oh, everyone from Puritan will be there? I'd love to see them again. Sorry, but I have plans on the 17th. My girl. Magnificent. Yeah, okay. Have fun, okay? Kitsune hot. Oh, Kitsune is a fox. Yeah, there it is. Oh my god, their lips. Okay, so that's what that's so short too. How interesting. Yeah, and it's like this dude whose name is literally Magnificent asking Chizuru to come to a party, and she just like turns him down. Her face is interesting here. I'll analyze it later. Okay, yeah, have fun, okay? Phew, that was good. Chinese hot pots are great. I'm stuffed. Their lips are so good. I know what to expect from Chinese hot pot now. Next, I've got to look for one to eat at on our date. In any case, it's obvious Chizuru-san's trying to move things along since she accepted your date. I think it's safe to have confidence in yourself, master. Hahaha, I'll try. Okay, I'm off to sing karaoke with my friends. I'll be around if you need me again. Huh? Damn. Girl moves at the beat of her own drum. She's always so giddy. That's such a good contrast. That's so good. I love it. He's like gonna have these serious thoughts and then he's just seeing the fucking lips. But yeah, it all comes down to how Mizuhara feels. Trying to rely on others for help won't get me anywhere. But there's no way I can half-ass it either. Will I really be able to come up with anything? I mean, a theme park would be great, but there's the rainy weather report. I need the perfect date spot. One that doesn't come too strong or too distant, and we can take our time talking with each other. But where would that be? Pay attention to this line. One that doesn't come on too strong or too distant. Chizuru can't get too close or too far away with her job. He's trying to find balance. Go back to my earlier videos. I describe how balance is a huge theme of these arcs, where it really delves into like how characters need to find balance within themselves to have balance with each other. And that's a huge thing Reiji's been tackling. And the discussion of like Kazuya's love in contrast to his lust, and Chizuru's lust in contrast to her love. I get people who are like, wait, Chizuru's lustful towards Kazuya? Motherfucker, she's almost kissed him like millions of times. These characters are like flips of each other. They're like reverses of each other, and that's how Reiji is tackling this theme of yin and yang. What kind of nice places have you visited before? Places I've visited. Huh? Oh. There is. I know a place. I bet many of you don't remember this, but I'm gonna pull it up just for you. Does this outfit look a little familiar to you? This is the date when Sumi took Kazuya to an aquarium and they went dolphin watching, and then afterwards they went to a secluded spot near I forgot the name of the bridge, and they watched the fairies and the clouds, and Kazuya talked to Sumi about his worries and concerns for Chizuru. This was Kazuya's version of a cheer-up date from Sumi. I know a place. That settles it. Thank you, Yamori-san. I've got my date plan. I find it interesting that this chapter, the teaser for it was this dude's name. I find that interesting, specifically because a huge portion of this chapter is focused on actually Chizuru. And that's kind of been the whole theme of this arc to some degree, because it's called The Boyfriend and the Date, and it's Chizuru having a date with her boyfriend, right? That's kind of the whole point. It's Chizuru having a date with her boyfriend, not the girlfriend in the date, right? Because they could call it the girlfriend in the day if they wanted to, but they don't. They call it the day and the boyfriend. Reiji's writing this phrasing specifically very intentionally. Kazuya goes on this thing because it's all about Chizuru. Kazuya was with Minnie this entire time because it's all about Chizuru. The entire thing is him figuring out the date. She might talk to me about how she feels. I'd need the perfect place for that. So where would you go to talk about how you feel? Where did Sumi take him? Because you guys probably don't remember this. You guys probably don't remember much of this. Oh yeah, the anime skipped this. They went fishing. Kazuya got his finger and Sumi did this shit. This is actually unsanitary, but it's also like a little too much. And it was just meant to be in Sumi's character. This isn't pure fan service. Like, they even say it here, I think. Mizuhara memo, Sumi's existence is like a light bulb in the darkness and purifies all lewdness, so that's all fine. But sucking someone else's wounds goes against common sense, whether girlfriend or not. I'm sorry. I really gotta revisit these chapters and talk about them with you guys. They're really funny and they're really entertaining. The series has really evolved and changed from how it was in the very start, where it used to be like a lot more silly, a lot more goofy, a lot more childish. Now it's becoming adult and is channeling the goofiness alongside its adultness. And then they go here, the Rainbow Bridge, and they go to this spot where they sit down and talk. Reishi's already telling you, like, this date is gonna have a lot of inspiration on how the date with Chizuru is gonna play out. And Kazuya is learning from past experiences. But this could also be interesting, like seeing all the couples kissing and shit, and Kazuya's like, it's like, that's not my intention, I'm sorry. Or they end up kissing or something like that, because Minnie has foreshadowed they might end up kissing by the end of this. So Sumi gives Kazuya a gift here. The only one who hasn't progressed is me. Kazuya looks sad. Sumi looks at him. What's wrong? She grabs his hand. To be the wall, it's my turn, right? Like, Kazuya was her wall for the longest time. Now I'm the wall. So it was foreshadowing how Kazuya was going to learn from this experience. It'd be really interesting if this ends up being the reverse, where Reishi redraws this scene, but it's Chizuru and Kazuya. And it'd be cool if they have their places swapped. But see, the most important part of this conversation that Minnie brings up here, I think you can expect some kind of answer from her. I think she'll give you an answer even if you don't do anything, but she needs something to make her feel comfortable before she talks. During this date with Sumi takes him to a place that is for couples in many ways, but she uses this opportunity to just talk with him, to help Kazuya open up to her. And Kazuya is clearly taking that as inspiration to do the same exact thing. Because a big part of the thing I've mentioned before with Kazuya is that whenever he goes on a date with Chizuru, it doesn't rain. Chizuru literally said this, whenever I'm on a date with you, it doesn't rain. So the date ending like this is super fitting, because not only does it nod back to Kazuya's inspiration in the cheer up date, but it also takes them to a completely different place that Kazuya has never been with Chizuru. So one piece of symbolism I kind of found interesting about this chapter is the chapter starts with a kitsune, and a kitsune is a trickster fox. Its whole thing is metamorphosis and changing and all that. It's almost like things aren't as they appear, and the chapter's like messing with you because they're eating kitsune hot pot. So like maybe it's the hot pot. Like the hot pot isn't as welcoming as it seems. It's actually really hot. You could maybe relate that to Chizuru and how Chizuru actually likes mopo tofu, but she comes off as liking stuff that's not that intense. So maybe that could be the connection. There could be more to it. But my initial reaction is I kind of felt like, why did Reishi show that fox at the beginning? And then when you find out, like at the very end when they're leaving, when it says Kitsune Hot Pot, you're like, oh, it's a Kitsune. It's meant to be misleading, right? It's a trickster. Reishi loves this symbolism. Please understand. Like, I'm not just like digging into this for no reason. No, Reishi loves his fucking symbolism. There's a reason he showed us what he did. This is literally some Final Fantasy shit. Like, literally, Final Fantasy does this shit a lot. Like, if you go to Final Fantasy theories, they're this fucking wild. They're this fucking crazy. Reishi does the same exact shit. And I know he plays Final Fantasy, motherfucker. I love when Kazuya gets serious, right? He stands there the entire time. And then when he gets serious, the lips go back to normal. Right? It's serious now. It's not silly and goofy anymore. And then you see past the illusions and you find the result you want. Okay, so I can kind of interpret the entire chapter is essentially the truth underneath the lies. So this entire chapter is kind of like an illusion in a sense, where you're going through this, Kazuya's trying to figure out every little detail, every little thing, but there's a secret Kazuya is missing in between this, and Minnie is revealing that illusion as Minnie is the truth in this place of lies. Boom, I got it. Boom, I got it. Let's go. Let's go. And then, of course, you have Chizuru's truth, hidden in darkness in her room. You're seeing the full truth literally hidden in a place and not being shown to you directly. And then Kazuya walks out in the night. He sees the truth past the illusions. He's no longer tricked by the fox. He's no longer tricked by the illusion that he needs to be perfect in the hot pot place, right? Like he thinks he needs to master the hot pot fucking techniques or whatever. And so he's in a hot pot place that gives him the illusion of understanding. In reality, he came to the actual understanding of it all by the end of the chapter to some degree, where he's like, oh, I know exactly how I'm gonna do this. I've got my date plan, right? He figured out the entire date plan, not just a part of it. No, he knows exactly where to go, what to do, what they're gonna do, because the date he had with Sumi could be a good layout. Your past is not always your enemy. And I think that's the important part, where remember what Kazuya says at the very beginning of the chapter? I know the most important thing is to make sure Mizuhara has a good time. That's the illusion. You're under the illusion that it's your job to do things, when in reality you could talk to her. Minnie's just stating the obvious to him. Yumori-san's right. I've been so focused on making sure Mizuhara has a good time, but depending on how the date goes, she could take some sort of action of her own, right? So Kazuya is waking up from the illusion. Again, I think the date could very well end in a kiss, and it could also very well end in the booty slapping, the skin wrapping, booty shot. Very cute. I think a big thing I've noticed when it comes to this series, at least when we got into this arc, is that the way Reiji has been drawing Chizuru feels a little different. I think that's intentional. Whether it's his art style evolving, whether it's something else, I'm really not sure what to take of it, but the way he's been drawing Chizuru's figure, the way he's been drawing her, doesn't feel overtly sexual. And I think that's kind of the point, is like, while the characters are horny, they're starting to see each other for each other. And because they're spending more time with each other, they don't look more and more amazing and godlike when you interact with them. While that could be like maybe bad drawing, right? It could be bad drawing, bad writing, bad illustration, whatever you call it. It doesn't feel like it. It feels very intentional in how he's depicting and portraying Chizuru. He's still doing like the sexy stuff, and a part of it is appealing to the audience, but a part of it is also in the writing, where because the characters are starting to interact more intimately, they literally start looking different to each other. They literally start looking different from how they did before. It's both his art style evolving and part of the narrative and how it's being drawn and portrayed to us. And I really don't think it's by coincidence, as Reiji, like, we literally had the Paradise arc before this, and Reiji was drawing Chizuru like full massive booty and everything, right? So this change, I think, in my opinion, could very well be intentional to show the characters looking more normal, more grounded, and that you're still sexy and attractive despite that fact, right? They're still attractive despite that fact. It's just attractive in different ways. And when people like take shots out of context and they're saying these characters are not attractive, Reiji draws them with like flat asses and stuff, it shows you're only looking at it because of their figure. You're only here because of their figure. You're not actually here because like you're actually interacting with these characters and you give a shit. Like you've seen him draw the characters with a big ass before. Why are you singing out like these single panels showing the characters tiny asses or something like that, right? I want to talk about Chizuru's face here. She kind of feels like a mom or married or a partner or something. Like the way she's smiling, it feels like she's talking to like a son of hers almost, not really a partner. I think that's super fitting. Like, listen to this conversation. I love how you don't see her. It pans through the house, showing you how the house is old. The light is off, by the way. This is important. The light is off in this scene. It's because the light is only on when Chizuru feels something. Doesn't feel anything here. So the light is off. Hello, yes, thanks, yes, Oh, huh? Oysters? Yeah, I like them. Oh, a party? This is important. This dude asks her if she likes certain foods. Just like Kazuya's trying to talk to her and have like certain conversations with her, right? So this dude's literally asking her about certain things and trying to invite her to a party. He might like her. We don't know. Wow, I'm surprised you got a reservation there, right? It's similar to Umi again. You got a reservation to this place? Oh, everyone from Puriton? It will be there. I wonder what that is. Let me look that up. It's kind of like the Power Ranger genre. So this is a reference. But yeah, I found this face, the expression Chizuru makes here, kind of interesting. She's saying like, sorry, no, like I'm doing something with the person that I love, right? And that way you can literally see it in how it portrays the house. Chizuru doesn't want something big, extravagant or anything like that. And especially important, this takes place during the night and like the lights are all off and shit, right? Like notice how the lights are all off, it's all dimmed. Chizuru's just kind of on her own and she looks to see if Kazuya is there, but it's silent. Kazuya isn't there. She's looking to the other side of the curtain. She wants to be with the people that she loves. loves, right? That's why Reiji is showing this, like to contrast the words that are being said, and it eventually pans out to the night where it's like it gets larger. In contrast, you have Kazuya hanging out with Minnie, and you literally see that Minnie is in her own world in this scene, where the whole point of this hot pot is that there's a hot side and a not hot side. And from what I understand, mala is spicy Suchin style, and the ba ting is chicken fish soup. And Kazuya probably ate from the mala section, and Minnie never suggests, hey, why don't you just eat from the other side? She's like, it's hot for a reason. She's literally telling him, get good. It's important for Kazuya to learn about the spicy element, but it also shows how little Minnie kind of cares, where she's kind of just doing her own shit. And it shows how Minnie, in a lot of ways, can be an unreliable narrator, but she can be also reliable. The element of the kitsune and how you have to escape the illusion in order to see the truth behind it all. I like that Kazuya never actually ends up discussing this element of lust and sex with Minnie. If Minnie picks up on it, Minnie notices it, but he never actually discusses it with her. So Reiji's essentially saying this is a conversation Kazuya is supposed to have with Chizuru, not with Minnie. And that's kind of important, actually. Like my initial analysis from chapter 324 is that in that chapter, I thought Kazuya might talk to Minnie about this, just as Chizuru talks to her grandmother about the fact that she's going on a date. But if you notice in that scene where Chizuru's talking to Grandma Sayuri, she never actually tells Sayuri about her complex love. It's almost like Sayuri already knows. And in many ways, we're supposed to already know. And in that way, Kazuya doesn't tell Minnie about this because it's something he's supposed to talk about with Chizuru, just as Chizuru is supposed to talk to Kazuya about her love, right? Like that's supposed to be the end line of it all. So like they're supposed to talk about it. They're supposed to sit down and have a conversation with each other about this. It's not supposed to be something you're supposed to share with other people unless you've already figured it out, right? And even then, it's a private matter. It's personal. It's not something you always share. Not to mention, like, if he shares it with Minnie, Minnie is Chizuru's friend too. So it's kind of unfair to Chizuru because she might accidentally hear it from Minnie because Minnie might act weird, right? So Reiji was always telling us like, Kazuya's probably not gonna tell Minnie. You could talk to your family and your friends, and Chizuru does like give the report to Sayuri, and Kazuya does talk to Minnie about some of the date plan, but ultimately Minnie actually ends up helping him find the actual meaning behind it all, which is you need to communicate, you need to talk, give her the space to talk so you can figure your feelings out, so you can actually get the sex, right? So Minnie ultimately helps Kazuya out, figure out how to talk to Chizuru about this without them actually conversing about it, which is something Reiji does quite often, where he gives you the answer without directly giving you the answer, right? You think it's gonna play out one way because you've read so many mangas, you've read so many stories, so you base it on how those things play out. In contrast, Reiji's like, nah, I'm not gonna play it out like that. I'm not gonna give it to you the way you're expecting to get it. I'm gonna give it to you in an unorthodox way. You just have to pay attention and you'll realize you actually still got the answer, just not the way that you expected. And this is Reiji's whole fucking MO. He always does this. He gives you the answer in a way you never expected to get it. And you never realize, oh, I actually got the answer here. Holy shit, right? Like the answer was right in front of me. I just needed to look. And this is exactly what he did here. Way future me here. So I made a video prior to this, just talking about my current financial situation and why it's difficult to make content. Luckily for me, this video was already mostly edited. And TLDR, please go check that video out if you want more information, but I would really appreciate anyone who can help me out on Patreon. I said in that video that if you subscribe to like certain tiers, I can make videos on content that you might be interested in, but currently I am struggling a great deal financially and I may lose my home. I'm trying to help my family as best as I can. We're all kind of struggling, and so this is just me asking for help. If you can donate no matter how much you can on Patreon, I would really appreciate it. It would mean a lot to me, and I could make more content. In the meantime, I believe we're currently on break in the manga. I'm going to take this time to pretty much upload everything and get caught up to the manga, and from there on, you guys can tell me what you would maybe like me to do, what content you would like me to cover, through Patreon, of course, and I'll take each one at a time that I can. But either way, sorry if everything from rambling or everything's kind of a mess, because I am kind of a mess, and my life is kind of a mess right now, and I would really appreciate your help. I may not sound like I'm crying or anything, but that's just me, I guess. That's just kind of who I am. With that said, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, the like button, hit the bell icon, keep up with the uploads. I would appreciate whatever you can do, and check out my Patreon. It should be down below. And it was kind of interesting revisiting this chapter, because because there was a lot that I'm now seeing completely differently because of what is currently going on in the manga. I'm like, oh wow, these things could have meant something completely different, and I try to put some of those in there in the little text I put. Like I actually think more of this might actually be foreshadowing to Kazuya talking to Minnie and Minnie reversing places with Kazuya and like cool things like that. Like, I think Reiji was like hitting us with a fucking curveball this entire time, and I'm really excited to see where the manga goes now, having reread this. So it's gonna be cool seeing the other chapters as I work on them. I will warn you guys, they're not gonna be nearly as edited as this one, unless I already did editing on them prior, mostly because I need to get the videos out and I want to make more content so I can get more people watching and somehow make money. Unfortunately it's come to that now. With that said, sorry for the ramble, sorry if this is dark, gloomy or anything, and again, thank you guys for watching. I'm Fate, and remember, let's mosey.